I will be presenting to you my thesis proposal. And I'll begin by reading that. Shared space on the Benjamin Franklin Parkway is imbalanced, giving preference to the vehicle over the pedestrian on a daily basis. But the model is reversed during city-sponsored events such as the Party on the Parkway during the 4th of July. With 24% of city land use given to transportation, how can the city street become multifunctional public space shared equally by the pedestrian, driver, and bicyclist? And this is the first image, really to start to contextualize for you where the Benjamin Franklin Parkway is and its intention. It was intended to park with City Hall to bring some of the green space into the city as part of the City Beautiful movement. Unfortunately, during the City Beautiful movement, the Benjamin Franklin Parkway destroyed many residential neighborhoods. And this is an image on the left of 1875, and on the right was a void mapping of that. Unfortunately, also, this is an image of all the different disconnected intersections that have been created because of the Benjamin Franklin Parkway and have become perilous for the pedestrian with the different intersecting modes of transport. But however, there is successful moments, but very heavily weighed towards the pedestrian, such as the Party on the Parkway, as I mentioned earlier, the Philadelphia Marathon. And this is when the Parkway becomes a container of space because of those broken intersections, and it gets closed down from the Parkway. And but a lot of times we think about the Parkway in terms of vehicular and pedestrian, but what about the bicycle? And this is a proposal to connect the Schuylkill River Trail to the East Coast Greenway using the Benjamin Franklin Parkway, in which the Benjamin Franklin Parkway is connected to Market. This is a process diagram to start to look at what would happen if we start to merge those systems. How do we do that using materiality, and how does the intersecting systems of the bike, the pedestrian, and the driver really become a spectacle within itself? So this will be done through two phases. Phase one would be about this immediate intervention, which will be needed more so towards the dense part of Philly, towards City Hall. And those are changes such as paint, trees, things to bring it down to the scale of the user. Whereas there are more prescribed interventions, which I'll get to a little bit later. So this is phase one, and this is top two images. Some of the things that are being done to really separate you from the car as a pedestrian existing, such as paint to really denote where am I allowed to walk. On the right hand is to talk about, well, on the sidewalk there's trees separating me. So this is phase two, which really gets to more of a committed proposal, more of larger scope changes. The red denotes bicycle paths. And this will start to talk about widening up Pennsylvania Avenue and allowing that to connect to the Parkway using underground tunnel passages. And if we widen Pennsylvania Avenue, that really allows us to really start to move below the Parkway and reconnect to the city fabric because it was broken before due to the implementation of the Parkway in the first place. So the way that you would actually do that, though, is using an underground tunnel passageway. And the diagrams on the top start to talk about the different kinds of movement. There is the movement down the Parkway here, but then you can use the widening of Pennsylvania Avenue, as I talked about earlier, to really connect underneath. And this is starting to talk about also using commercial stimulus, such as cafes that are lacking along the Parkway because of the lack of an edge due to the non-realization of the Parkway's intent. And then also starting to look into how can we reverse or rethink the paradigm that we see above here in terms of car, pedestrian, sort of faster way of moving, and start to think about where do people actually collect. Maybe towards the baseball fields here, people can actually sit and have a cafe and eat and drink. And then also, another important part of the program is to think about that the Parkway is the museum mile. So you also have the museum without walls, which is sculptural elements pointed out here. But there's a missing gap here. So using a pedestrian bridge as a sculptural element within that so that the pedestrian is never really interfering with the vehicle. Thank you very much.